Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So I got to give a shout out to Yellow Flash because in one of his recent videos, he talked about this article and then linked it. So I wanted to go ahead and give my thoughts on it because Resident Evil 4 is also something that is pretty near and dear to me and a lot of people. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. And Resident Evil, the series, the game series, is one of my favorite game franchises of all time. So I wanted to talk about this because this is something that we've kind of seen happen more and more often as the years have gone by, how a lot of these companies are even retroactively going back and sanitizing some of the games that they had previously released because they want them to be a little bit more PC and they don't want them to be problematic, even though they're just re-releases of older games, which really nobody's really calling for that, at least not by and large. A majority of people don't care. They like to enjoy things as they were originally presented, and people will always understand, just like they do with movies, that things are a product of their time. And even then, I wouldn't even say that the whole product of their time argument is the issue here. So I'm going to go over this article here real quick and give some thoughts that I have. I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's a pretty long article, but it's not just because it's a long article, because it's something that I really just want to focus on specific things. That's why I'm not going to be reading the entire thing. If you guys want to check it out, though, I will also go ahead and link it in the description below. I think it is a fantastic article by Happy Warrior, so be sure to check it out. But let me just go ahead and get into it here. Exclusive: Capcom allows Facebook to deface and modify Resident Evil 4 for Oculus VR Remake. Removal of content as significant revisions have been made to RE4's story and dialogue to please the gaming media and social justice crowd. So it says here, for many gamers, the upcoming Resident Evil 4 Remake is the it game of 2021. Soon to be released for the Oculus Quest 2 on October 21st, much time, money, and effort have been put into the remake of this classic horror shooter by its new developer, Armature Studios, and IP owner Capcom. As announced by Oculus executive producer Ruth Bram, Facebook, the owner of Oculus, is promising gamers innovative gameplay changes to take advantage of VR while vowing that little will be changed to dialogue and story. What changes there are would be done so reverently. Really? Okay. According to my sources and shared RE4 VR game development videos, pictures, and documentations, the opposite is true. As shared with the Happy Warrior, we have confirmation that there are indeed many irreverent alterations to both story, content, and dialogue. These include notable changes to dialogue, deletion of some scenes and achievements, proactive protection with alterations focused on removing any scenes and dialogue that the gaming, news media, and social justice crowd may deem misogynistic. That already right there should worry people, right? When you're throwing around the buzzwords, right? Like that. So let's continue on here. Released to GameCube in 2005 and almost a dozen different platforms since. RE4, as fans refer to it, is the masterpiece that created the action horror game genre as we know it today. The game stars Resident Evil hero Leon Kennedy fighting and shooting his way through a small Spanish village inflicted with a zombie-like inducing parasite Las Plagas to save the US president's daughter Ashley Graham. The game was a great innovator back in the day and continues to this day to be considered by most fans of the series as the best entry ever made. And by and large, I think that for a lot of people, it held that distinction of being the best Resident Evil game, especially up until that point, and even after 5 and 6 came out, still considered to be the best in the series. I would still consider it to be the best. That and Resident Evil 2, I think, should, by and large, by most people, are considered to be the best games in the franchise because of what they were able to do, right? What they were able to bring to the franchise, the innovations, all that stuff. So I think it's fair of them to say that most people would consider Resident Evil 4 to still be kind of the gold standard in terms of a Resident Evil game. So as stated in the translated Japanese introduction of a leaked cover for a game development video tracking the woke revisions, the developers note that any content that is specifically related to sexual harassment, sarcastic expressions, sexist conversations, and expressions that may be indirectly linked to them have been removed, also writing that these were not unavoidably removed as part of the translation or porting process, but were done by Armature Studios at the request of Oculus VR with the approval of Capcom. And that's going to be the biggest problem right there, right? Is these companies like Facebook having this kind of influence, or in this case, Oculus, which is owned by Facebook, but them having the influence to just outright change things because they think it might be problematic, when really nobody's complaining about that. I don't think that anybody went to Oculus and said, hey, are you going to change the Resident Evil 4 remake so that I don't get triggered by all the sexist remarks and all the sexism and misogyny that is in that game? Are you going to make sure to change all that so that I'm not offended, even though I might not even buy the game? The compilation video I received features only some of the revisions in the remake. In the video, 5 scenes showcase heavy alterations. And before I get into those alterations, why is it that this continues to happen? Why do these companies keep doing things? A lot of them will preemptively do these things, right? Because nobody is really asking for this to be done. And if they are, like I said, it's a very minuscule amount of people online making noise about this. They're very vocal about it, I'll give them that, but by and large, most people don't care. And most people like to play the games in the format that they were originally presented, because a lot of them experienced it like that, and that's what made that experience good for them. So why bother changing? If it ain't broke, why are you trying to fix it? In the first 2 scenes, we can see the removal of flirtatious dialogue between Leon, the game's main character, and his radio support Ingrid. Why? See what I mean? Like nobody cares that Leon was flirting with Ingrid. When I played the game, I wasn't like, oh, I'm so offended that Leon is hitting on this girl. You know what I mean? I don't care. I'm there to kill zombies and monsters, right? During the 3rd scene, a male character, Louis Sarah, jokes about the deuteragonist Ashley Graham ballistics, a comment slyly referencing her character's bosom and general appearance. These dialogue exchanges are now sanitized, leaving radio static and oddly stilted dialogue where they used to be. These alterations are likely to annoy veteran RE fans. I don't think just RE fans, just fans. I think just people in general don't care for any kind of censorship, whether they be anime fans, video game fans, just fans of any type of media that is entertaining and consumable. I mean, most people are not fans of censorship. They like stuff to be, for the most part, not everybody, because there's always going to be somebody out there that has to be mad about every little thing, but for the most part, people don't care. They don't. They like things as they were presented. That's part of the reason they enjoyed them to begin with. But the mutilations of the game's ending will perturb them. In Scene 4, we see significant alterations have been inflicted on the ending, with at least 30% of the original dialogue missing. The worst yet is in Scene 5. In the original, after the credits roll, Leon admits his attraction for Ingrid, then asking her for her phone number, for which he is rebuffed. Unlike the previous alterations featured in the video, this scene is completely erased from RE4 VR. Are you f***ing kidding me? Are you serious? The fact that he asks for her phone number and is rejected, that's problematic. We have to take that out. That's offensive to some. You've shitting me, man. This is the reason why I say for people to vote with their dollars, right? And if this gets around enough, I think most people will. But because people want to experience RE4 in VR, despite this, they'll probably still get it because they just want to experience RE4 in a first-person perspective. So I don't think that this is going to kill the game's chances of doing well, unfortunately. Okay, so that's where I'll stop with the article for now. If you guys want to check it out, like I said, link is in the description below. I want to do a little bit more of a comparison here so we can see. So this is the original scene, the original cutscene from Resident Evil 4, one of the cutscenes in question here. So I'm going to play it for you real quick, and so you guys can see the difference with this and the upcoming VR game. So,
small world, eh? Well, I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics too.
How rude!
Okay, so that's the original scene. Okay, now this is what we're getting in the VR remake.
VR. Small world, eh?
Who are you?
Oh, excuse me, Your Highness. Perhaps the young lady might want to introduce herself.
So you can see they completely cut it out, right? And the reason, look, I don't know why they're so worried about things like that, little things like that, right? About him mentioning her ballistics, right? The game is rated M. All right, so already this is a game for a mature audience. It's not a game for kids. I don't see why it is that you feel the need to have to sanitize a game that's already meant for a more mature audience to begin with. I think they're trying to play too much into people's oversensitivity by doing stuff like this. So I'm just going to leave the video at this because this is already frustrating enough to see them go back and do this with previously released games, and now they're continuing that trend going forward when nobody is asking them to do any of this stuff except, like I said, maybe for a handful of weirdos online that find a reason to cry about every single thing. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Until next time, you all know how it goes. The hunt continues.